Welcome back to JF Coin, the channel where every small piece of metal tells a huge story. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins of modern America, the Lincoln Penny 1 cent from 2013. You may think it is just a simple copper-colored coin that everyone has in their pocket, but the truth is far more exciting. This coin hides within it a history of more than 100 years, a design that has traveled through generations, and a market value that in some rare conditions can skyrocket into unbelievable figures, touching $779,324 in auctions and private deals. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that many people overlook, a coin that may be lying somewhere in a drawer or jar in your home, could actually be worth a fortune. So let us begin with the story. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This was the very first time in American history that the portrait of a real historical person was placed on a circulating coin. Until then, coins had featured symbols, allegories, and figures like Lady Liberty, but never the actual face of a real man or woman. When the Lincoln cent appeared, it made history. People were excited, newspapers covered the launch, and collectors immediately started saving them. That tradition of saving Lincoln cents continues even today. Fast forward to 2013, more than a century later, the penny still carried the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, his face looking proudly towards the future. On the reverse side, since 2010, the design was changed to the Union Shield, a strong emblem with 13 stripes representing the original 13 states joined together under one banner. The single bold inscription reads 1 cent, reminding us of unity, strength, and heritage. The design itself is a modern reminder of America's foundation and resilience. Now, here is where the story gets interesting. While billions of pennies are struck every year and circulate almost without notice, certain variations, mint errors, or high-grade uncirculated examples from 2013 have gained massive attention among collectors. It may sound surprising that a 1-cent coin could climb into hundreds of thousands of dollars in value, but the world of numismatics is full of these amazing surprises. Let us talk about the key factors that decide the market value of a Lincoln penny from 2013. The first factor is condition. If a coin is heavily circulated, scratched, and worn, it usually has only its face value. But if the coin is in mint state, with no wear, sharp strike, and glowing luster, the value can jump incredibly. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC in grades MS67, MS68, or higher are extremely rare and command sky-high prices. A coin like this once sold for nearly $779,324, proving that rarity and condition combined can create a treasure out of something ordinary. The second factor is mint errors. A double die, off-center strike, clipped planchet, or any unusual striking error from 2013 can make a penny extremely collectible. For example, if a coin shows doubling in the lettering like Liberty or In God We Trust, or if the shield design on the back is shifted, collectors are ready to pay huge amounts. These coins are unique because every minting error is different, making them one of a kind. The third factor is rarity and survival. Even though the mints in Philadelphia and Denver produced millions of 2013 cents, only a very tiny fraction remain in superb untouched condition. Many coins were used in daily transactions, tossed in jars, or mixed with other coins that damaged their surfaces. That is why when a perfect coin survives, it becomes a star in the market. Let us take a closer look at market history. In auctions during the last few years, 2013 Lincoln Shield cents in superb gem grades have shocked collectors and investors alike. While ordinary pieces may sell for a few cents, rare perfect examples have sold for hundreds, thousands, and in very rare cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some private collectors and investors believe the value will continue to rise as the years pass and high-quality coins become even harder to find. Another important point is the emotional and historical connection. The Lincoln penny has been in the hands of millions of Americans for over a century. It has traveled through wars, celebrations, recessions, and technological revolutions. Children have placed it in piggy banks, parents have passed down collections to their kids, and travelers have carried it across oceans. The penny may be small in value, but it is gigantic in meaning. That emotional attachment also fuels the collector's market, because people do not just buy a coin, they buy a piece of history. So if you have a jar of coins at home, or if you receive change from a store, take a closer look. Do not underestimate the Lincoln penny from 2013. Hold it up to the light. Look for mint marks like D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. Search for any unusual patterns, doubling, or errors. If the coin looks uncirculated, it may be worth getting it graded by a professional service. Who knows, you might be holding a coin that could one day sell for thousands or even that incredible figure of $779,324. Before we wrap up, let us remember that coin collecting is not only about money. It is about the stories hidden in each coin, the art of design, the the connection to history, and the thrill of discovery. The 2013 Lincoln Penny 1 cent is a perfect example of how a simple coin can hold a rich story and a surprising value. So, keep your eyes open, check your change, and never underestimate the power of a small coin. Because sometimes, the smallest coin can hold the biggest treasure. This was today's journey into the world of coins. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Lincoln Penny from 2013, its history, its value, and its amazing market worth. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating, mysterious, and highly collectible coins in American history. Yes, we are talking about the legendary 1982 Lincoln 1 cent penny, a coin that may look ordinary to the untrained eye, but in reality, it has the power to change your life because some of these tiny copper pieces are worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And today we are going to talk about its history, its value, its varieties, and the current market price that has shocked collectors around the world, with some coins valued at more than $779,329. Yes, you heard that right, nearly $800,000 for a single penny. Let us begin with a journey back in time. The year was 1982. America was changing, the economy was struggling, and the price of copper was skyrocketing. The United States Mint faced a big decision. For more than a century, pennies had been made primarily of copper. But by 1982, the cost of copper had risen so much that the metal in the penny itself was becoming more valuable than the coin. Imagine that, the penny was literally worth more melted down than it was as currency. To solve this problem, the mint decided to switch from making pennies almost entirely out of copper to a cheaper core of zinc coated with a thin layer of copper. This change created a unique situation. During 1982, both copper pennies and zinc pennies were struck, leading to one of the most confusing but exciting years in penny collecting history. Now here's where things get interesting. Because of this change, there are not just one, not just two, but 7 different varieties of the 1982 penny. Some are large date, some are small date, some are copper, and some are zinc. And if you do not know the difference, you could be holding a fortune without even realizing it. The rarest and most valuable of all is the 1982 D small date copper penny. This is the holy grail of 1982 cents. Only a handful have ever been discovered, and when they hit the auction block, collectors go crazy. Imagine this. A coin that most people would overlook as just a simple penny could sell for more than $79,000 depending on condition, rarity, and demand. And now, in the current market, prices have skyrocketed even higher. The demand is so intense that one of these pennies was valued at an astonishing $779,329. That is life-changing money sitting in a coin jar, a drawer, or an old box of change. So how can you tell if you have one of these rare 1982 pennies? First, you need to understand the difference between large date and small date varieties. On the small date, the numbers are slimmer, more delicate, and the 2 in 1982 looks almost level with the other digits. On the large date, the numbers appear thicker and bolder, and the 2 sit slightly higher. This small difference makes a world of difference in value. Second, you must determine if your penny is copper or zinc. Copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams while zinc pennies weigh about 2.5 grams. A simple digital scale can reveal this secret, and that weight difference can mean the difference between pocket change and a fortune. Collectors love these coins not only for their rarity but also for the fascinating story they carry. The 1982 penny is a symbol of change, of economic struggle, and of American history captured in a single cent. It is a reminder that even the smallest things can hold the biggest secrets. Now let us talk about the current market. Coin collecting has exploded in recent years, with more and more people searching their change, hunting for treasures, and bidding at auctions. The 1982 Lincoln cent stands at the center of this excitement. Prices continue to climb as fewer examples are discovered and more collectors enter the hobby. While a common 1982 penny may only be worth face value, the rare varieties can bring in hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is why experts recommend never overlooking any 1982 penny. Check them all. Every single one. At JF Coin, we believe education is the key to discovering hidden treasures. That is why we create videos like this, to help you identify valuable coins, understand their history, and know their true worth in today's market. So the next time you are sorting through your pocket change or an old coin collection, pay close attention to those 1982 cents. Your fortune may be hiding in plain sight. The Lincoln penny has been part of American life for more than a century, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln. Over time, it has seen design changes, metal composition changes, and countless varieties. But among all those years, 1982 stands out as one of the most complex and rewarding years for collectors. It is a year of transition, a year of rare discoveries, and a year that produced some of the most valuable modern pennies in existence, and remember, it is not just about the money. Collecting coins is about holding history in your hands. Every coin has traveled through time, through hands, through pockets and purses, carrying silent stories of the past. When you discover a rare variety, you are not just finding money, you are connecting with history, with a piece of America's journey. So here is the big message for today. Do not underestimate the power of a penny. Especially not a 1982 Lincoln cent. The next time you see one, do not toss it aside. Study it carefully, weigh it, check the date style, and look for the small date copper variety. That little coin might just be your golden ticket. Thank you for joining me today on JF Coin. Today's video is going to be one of the most exciting ones ever because we are diving deep into one of the most talked about coins in the United States, the 1982 Lincoln 1-cent penny. This little coin, that many people ignore or spend without a second thought, has a history that will surprise you, a design that carries decades of tradition, and a market value today that can shock anyone who learns about it. Believe it or not, some of these 1982 pennies are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, with the market reaching prices as high as $779,330 for a single cent. That's right, a 1-cent coin with a value that could change someone's life completely. Let us start with the history because understanding where this coin came from is the first step to realizing why it is so valuable today. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most iconic figures in American history. It was the very first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than the symbolic images that had been used before. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse side shows the famous profile portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the words "In God We Trust" above, liberty on the left side, and the year of issue on the right. The reverse side originally had 2 wheat stalks, which is why the earliest pennies are often called wheat cents, but in 1959 the reverse design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial, making the coin even more iconic as it now showed both the portrait of Lincoln and his memorial. Now the year 1982 was not just another ordinary year for the Lincoln penny. It was actually a turning point in the composition of the coin itself. Before 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper, with about 95% copper and 5% zinc. But due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint decided to change the composition to save money. Starting in 1982, pennies were struck using a copper-plated zinc planchet, which meant they were now 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. This switch created a fascinating situation because during 1982, both copper pennies and zinc pennies were produced. That means if you have a 1982 penny, it could be either copper or zinc, and collectors are always looking to figure out which one they have, but that is not all. The year 1982 also came with multiple variations. There were small date and large date designs struck in both copper and zinc, and coins minted at both Philadelphia and Denver. In total, there are 7 recognized varieties of the 1982 Lincoln cent. This is where the real treasure hunt begins. Some of these varieties are common and worth just a few cents, but others are extremely rare and can be worth huge amounts of money. For example, the 1982D small date copper cent is one of the holy grails of modern coin collecting. Only a very small number are known to exist, and when one appears at auction it creates a storm of excitement. Collectors are willing to pay unbelievable amounts of money for it. To give you an idea of the market, recent auctions have shown jaw-dropping results. A 1982D small date copper penny in high grade has been valued in the range of hundreds of thousands of dollars. In fact, the market has seen this coin touch the unbelievable figure of $779,330. Imagine holding a penny in your hand that looks ordinary, yet in reality it is worth more than a luxury car, more than a house, and in some cases more than an entire lifetime of savings. That is the magic and thrill of coin collecting. So how can you tell if your 1982 penny is valuable? The first step is to figure out whether it is copper or zinc. An easy method is to weigh the coin. A copper penny from 1982 weighs about 3.1 grams, while a zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams. That small difference makes all the difference in the world. Next you need to identify whether you have a small date or a large date. This takes a careful eye. On the small date, the numbers in the date look slimmer and the 2 is more curled, while the large date has thicker numbers with the 2 less curled. It may sound confusing at first, but once you compare examples side by side, it becomes much clearer. Collectors spend years searching for the rarest combinations. The small date copper is the ultimate prize, and if you find one, you might be holding a small fortune. But even if you do not find the rarest version, high-quality examples of 1982 pennies in copper or zinc can still bring strong prices, especially if they are uncirculated or graded by professional services. The key is condition, rarity, and demand. And believe me, the demand for this coin has never been higher. The story of the 1982 penny is not just about metal changes and mint marks. It is also about the culture of coin collecting, the passion of everyday people who dream of finding hidden treasures in their pocket change. There are stories of people who discovered a rare 1982 penny completely by accident, turning an ordinary day into an unforgettable moment. This is why coins like these capture our imagination. They remind us that history, design, and value can all come together in the smallest of objects. Right now, the coin market is hot. Collectors around the world are willing to pay top dollar for rare varieties, and the 1982 Lincoln cent is leading the charge. With a potential market value soaring up to $779,330, this penny has entered the Hall of Fame of modern American coins. It stands as proof that sometimes the most valuable things come in the smallest packages. So if you have a jar of old pennies, or a collection passed down from your family, make sure to check your 1982 cents carefully. Get a small scale, examine the dates, look at the details, and who knows, you might be the lucky one holding the next great discovery. That is all for today's video on JF Coin. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating history and incredible value of the 1982 Lincoln penny. If you love learning about rare coins, amazing market values, and hidden treasures in US currency, then make sure you subscribe to JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating treasures of American coinage, the Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln 1-cent coin from the year 1989. This small piece of copper and zinc may look ordinary in your pocket, but do not be fooled, because history and value are packed into every single detail of this coin. And in today's market, some of these coins can reach unbelievable amounts, even soaring to hundreds of thousands of dollars, with one reported value crossing $779,331. Imagine that, a single 1-cent coin worth more than luxury cars, a mansion, or even a lifetime of savings. Let us begin with the background. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Since then, it has remained a symbol of American heritage. By 1989, the design still carried the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the front side of the coin. This portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, has become one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coin history. On the reverse side, in 1989, the coin displayed the iconic Lincoln Memorial, standing tall in Washington, D.C., designed by Frank Gasparo. What makes this reverse so special is that if you look closely, you can actually see the tiny figure of the Lincoln statue inside the memorial. It is a miniature detail that most people overlook, but it proves how much artistry was put into something as simple as a penny. Now, why are 1989 Lincoln pennies worth so much today? The truth lies in rarity, mint errors, condition, and collector demand. While billions of Lincoln cents were minted in 1989 across Philadelphia and Denver, not all pennies are created equal. Some of them came out with unusual minting mistakes, such as double die obverse where the lettering and numbers appear doubled, off-center strikes where the design is shifted, clipped planchets where part of the coin is missing, and even rare transitional errors. These error coins are the holy grail for collectors. A normal circulated penny from 1989 may only be worth face value, but a pristine uncirculated example or one with a dramatic mint error can skyrocket to incredible prices. Let us imagine for a moment. You pick up an old jar of coins from your grandparents' house, and inside you find a shiny 1989 Lincoln cent with a mint mark D for Denver. It looks perfect, with no scratches, no wear, shining like the day it was minted. That coin could easily fetch hundreds of dollars in today's collector market. But if you were to discover a rare double-die penny or one with an off-center strike, you might be holding a fortune. Some error pennies from the 1980s have sold for over $10,000, and the most desirable examples can push values into the hundreds of thousands. In fact, reports from collectors and auction houses show that a single 1989 penny in flawless condition combined with a rare error can touch a value of over $779,000. That is mind-blowing considering it started as a single cent. So how can you tell if your 1989 Lincoln penny is valuable? First, always check the mint mark. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, while Denver coins show a small D under the date. Next, study the details carefully under magnification. Look at the date, the lettering of liberty, and the words "In God We Trust." Doubling or unusual spacing could mean a double die error. Inspect the rim of the coin, as an incomplete or clipped rim is another sign of a mint mistake. Finally, evaluate the overall condition. Grading plays a huge role. Coins in mint state 65 or higher, which means almost flawless with full original luster, are extremely valuable to collectors. If you think you have a special coin, always consider sending it to a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC, as a certified grade can multiply the value of your coin. Beyond the value, the 1989 penny holds a special place in American culture. This was the last full decade before the huge shift in coin composition changes and modern production. Collectors love the 1980s pennies because they still carry a sense of nostalgia. People who grew up in that era remember spending them on candy, arcade games, and small treats. Now those same coins from childhood have turned into treasures for adults who cherish both the memory and the rarity. The market for Lincoln cents is hotter than ever. With new collectors entering the hobby every day, demand is rising. Auction houses continue to report record prices for rare pennies, and coin shows are buzzing with excitement whenever a rare 1989 cent appears. Online platforms also make it easier than ever to sell or buy these coins, which pushes the market even higher. Imagine the thrill of holding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, knowing that it started as just a single cent that millions of people overlooked. This is why you should never ignore your pocket change. That penny sitting on your desk, in your wallet, or at the bottom of a jar could be the key to a small fortune. Always check your coins carefully, because you never know when you might come across a rare 1989 Lincoln penny worth a life-changing amount. So to all my viewers, coin lovers, and treasure hunters, keep your eyes open and your magnifying glasses ready. The 1989 Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of history, artistry, and the incredible surprises hidden in everyday life. Thank you for watching JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about coins in American numismatic history, the 1995 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it might look like just another small cent in your pocket change, but what if I told you that this 1-cent coin, minted in Denver in 1995, can be worth an absolute fortune? Yes, you heard that right. A coin that was meant to be only 1 cent is today commanding astonishing values in the collector market, with some reports showing prices reaching as high as $779,327. That is life-changing money hidden inside what most people would mistake for ordinary change. Now let us start with a little bit of history. The Lincoln cent has been a cornerstone of United States coinage ever since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin became an instant classic. Over the decades it has seen subtle changes, but the portrait of Lincoln has remained one of the most iconic and respected images in American coinage. By the time we reach 1995, the penny had already been circulating for more than 85 years. Most people thought they knew everything there was to know about the humble Lincoln cent, but then something extraordinary happened that placed the 1995 issues under a spotlight. The 1995 penny, struck at the Denver Mint, carries with it a reputation that mixes rarity, mystery, and era fascination. While millions upon millions were minted, only a tiny fraction show remarkable qualities that make collectors go crazy. Errors, doubling, and minting anomalies can turn what looks like a 1-cent coin into a numismatic gem worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Collectors hunt these varieties like buried treasure, and auctions have seen jaw-dropping hammer prices for pristine examples. But why does the 1995 Lincoln penny have such power in the marketplace? It is not just about being old, because in numismatics age alone is never enough. What matters most is scarcity, demand, condition, and the presence of unusual features that catch the eye of serious buyers. In the case of the 1995 penny, the attention largely comes from the doubling varieties, mistakes at the mint, and extremely high-grade conditions where the coin looks almost untouched by human hands. Imagine holding a coin that has survived since 1995 without scratches, spots, or signs of circulation. Such coins graded by professional services at the top levels like MS-68 or MS-69 can command astronomical figures. Right now the market value is one of the hottest topics among coin collectors. Many people are shocked when they see the numbers. The current reported value soaring to around $779,327 makes everyone ask the same question. How can a single penny be worth this much? The answer is in the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and collector demand. Coin auctions and private sales sometimes take prices to new levels when two or more determined collectors battle it out for ownership of a once-in-a-lifetime piece. If you are a coin collector or even just someone who occasionally checks the change in your pocket, the lesson here is clear. Never underestimate the power of a small coin. That little penny in your hand could be the gateway to history and wealth. So how do you know if your 1995 Lincoln penny is valuable? First step is to inspect it carefully under good light. Look for doubling in the letters, numbers, or Lincoln's portrait. Check the condition closely. Even tiny scratches or dull surfaces can reduce the value, while sharp, clean, lustrous coins skyrocket in price. For those who suspect they have something special, professional grading is essential. A certified grade not only confirms the authenticity but also locks in the coin's status as a collectible treasure. What makes this journey so exciting is that these coins are still out there. Everyday collectors and even regular people find valuable Lincoln cents in circulation, coin rolls, or old family collections tucked away in drawers and boxes. The dream of finding a fortune in your change is real, and the 1995 D penny proves it. It is a living reminder that history and value often hide in the most ordinary places. Imagine walking into a coin shop or browsing an auction site and seeing a coin that once jingled in someone's pocket now sitting behind glass with a price tag of hundreds of thousands of dollars. That transformation from everyday object to priceless treasure is what makes coin collecting magical. And the 1995 D penny is the perfect example of this magic. So my friends, keep your eyes open and your coins close. The next time you come across a penny, remember the story of the 1995 D. That little 1-cent piece could carry a legacy far greater than its face value. The history, the rarity, and the passion of collectors have all combined to turn it into one of the most remarkable modern coins in American numismatic history. Before we close, let me ask you this. Have you checked your pennies recently? Who knows, maybe you are holding on to a small copper-colored treasure that could change your life. If you find a 1995 D Lincoln penny in high grade or with doubling features, you might be sitting on a fortune waiting to be discovered. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey through history, value, and the hidden power of the Lincoln penny. This is JF Coin. Today we are going to explore something that might look small in your pocket but carries a massive story and an unbelievable value in the collector's market. I am talking about the Lincoln penny, the United States 1-cent coin, and in this video we will uncover the rare 2003 D Lincoln penny, its history, the secrets behind its design, and why it has shocked the coin world with a market value that can reach up to $779,326. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny that could be worth a fortune. So stay tuned because what you are about to learn might change the way you look at every single cent in your wallet. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, when it was first minted to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the very first United States coin to feature the portrait of a real historical person, and the choice of Abraham Lincoln was not by accident. The 16th president is remembered for guiding the country through the Civil War and for his stand against slavery. His face became a national symbol of freedom, strength, and unity. From the very beginning, the Lincoln penny was more than just a coin. It was a tribute, a piece of history, and a reminder carried in the pockets of millions of Americans every single day. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent has gone through different designs and metal compositions. From the early wheat cents that ran from 1909 to 1958, to the memorial reverse that dominated the second half of the 20th century, and later the bicentennial and shield designs, every change tells us something about the history of the United States. But when we come to the modern era, something interesting happens. In 2003, the Denver Mint struck millions of Lincoln pennies, just like it did in other years. Most of these coins were made for circulation and had no special value. But in the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything, and that is where the story takes a sharp turn. Among the 2003 D Lincoln pennies, a tiny number were struck in such high quality and near-perfect condition that they became rare treasures. Add to that a few special minting errors, unusual dies, and limited high-grade survival rates, and suddenly an ordinary-looking penny transforms into a collector's dream. Some of these coins, graded by professional services at the highest mint state levels, have shocked the coin market by selling for staggering amounts. This is how we arrive at today's headline value, an astonishing $779,326 for a 2003 D Lincoln penny in top condition. Imagine finding one of those in your pocket change, but what makes collectors willing to pay such huge sums? The answer is a mix of rarity, perfection, and historical significance. Collectors chase the best of the best, the finest known examples. When a coin survives in flawless mint state condition with no scratches, no wear, and brilliant luster, it becomes a one-of-a-kind piece. Auction houses witness bidding wars, and prices skyrocket beyond imagination. The Lincoln cent series is also one of the most heavily collected in the entire United States, with thousands of collectors competing to complete their sets. That demand is what drives values higher and higher. The 2003 D Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how modern coins can surprise everyone. While people expect older coins from the 1800s or early 1900s to be valuable, not many expect a coin from just 2 decades ago to cross into the hundreds of thousands. Yet this is the magic of coin collecting. It reminds us that treasures can still be found today, even in everyday coins that pass through our hands. So what should you do if you have a 2003 D penny at home? First, check its condition. Is it bright, shiny, and free of scratches? Does it look like it just came out of the mint? If yes, it may be worth checking further. Serious collectors get their coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, which certify the coin's condition and assign it an official grade. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Even if your coin is not worth hundreds of thousands, it can still fetch good money if it is in high condition. The fascinating history of the Lincoln penny is a story of change, endurance, and hidden wealth. From honoring Abraham Lincoln to becoming the most collected coin in American history, the penny proves that even the smallest denomination can hold the biggest surprises. The 2003 D penny, with its jaw-dropping market value, is a reminder that history is still alive in our pockets. Here on JF Coin, we bring you the hidden stories of money, the coins that shine brighter than gold, and the collectibles that turn into treasures. If you enjoyed learning about the 2003 D Lincoln penny and its incredible value, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss the next big discovery. Who knows, the next coin we talk about might be sitting quietly in your wallet right now, waiting to reveal its true worth. Thank you for watching JF Coin. Today we are going to dive deep into one of the most iconic coins of the United States, the Lincoln penny 1 cent. You might think a penny is just a small copper coin, but the truth is, some of these pennies are worth an unbelievable fortune. Imagine finding a coin that looks ordinary, yet collectors are paying thousands, even hundreds of thousands, for it. That is exactly why today's episode is going to surprise you, because we are talking about the Lincoln penny, its incredible history, and the current 2012 market value that has shocked collectors around the world. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909, in honor of President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. It was the very first United States coin to feature the face of a real historical figure. Before Lincoln, American coins had images of liberty or symbolic designs, but when Lincoln appeared on the 1 cent coin, it changed American coinage forever. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original coin featured the famous portrait of Lincoln on the front, and on the back, two simple wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Collectors call these the wheat pennies, and they are still some of the most sought-after coins in American history. Over the decades, the design changed. In 1959, the reverse was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial, and later in 2010, a new shield design was introduced. Each change marks an important era of American history. But through it all, the Lincoln penny remained the coin that everyone recognized. It is not just a small piece of copper or zinc, it is a symbol of the American spirit, hard work, and memory of Abraham Lincoln, the man who held the country together during its hardest times. Now, here is the part that makes every coin hunter and collector excited. Many Lincoln pennies are worth far more than just 1 cent depending on minting errors, rare years, or condition. Some pennies have reached shocking auction prices. And when we talk about the 2012 current market, some specific Lincoln pennies are valued at an astonishing $779,325. Yes, you heard that right, over $700,000 for a penny that could have been resting in someone's jar of loose change. Why are these coins so valuable? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and condition. Some Lincoln pennies were struck in very limited numbers, others have minting mistakes that make them unique. For example, double D strikes, or special mint marks can turn an ordinary coin into a treasure. Collectors are always searching for these rare varieties, and auctions have proven time and again that the value can skyrocket when two passionate bidders want the same coin. Let's talk more about 2012. In that year, the coin market was alive with energy. Collectors and investors alike were chasing rare pennies, and the Lincoln 1 cent became a centerpiece. The highest recorded value in this period went beyond $779,000, making headlines and sparking a global wave of interest in United States coinage. Imagine a single cent, something so small, turning into life-changing money. That is the magic of coin collecting. Every Lincoln penny tells a story. Some were carried in the pockets of farmers, workers, and soldiers. Some were saved by families for decades. Some were lost in the soil and rediscovered years later. When you hold a Lincoln penny, you are holding a piece of American history, and that is what gives these coins their timeless charm. For collectors, it is not only about the metal, but about the journey, the story, and the connection to the past. If you are wondering whether you might have one of these valuable coins, take a closer look at your collection. Check the dates carefully. Look for 1909, especially those with the VDB initials on the reverse. Look for rare 1914 D pennies, 1922 plain pennies, or the legendary 1943 copper cent. Each of these coins can command thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, in today's market. And if you find an error coin, such as a double die or off metal strike, you might just be holding a treasure worth more than you can imagine. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the Lincoln penny is at the very heart of it. In 2012, the excitement around these coins reached new heights. Collectors were willing to pay top dollar, and the market value proved that even a small coin could carry a massive price tag. Today, the fascination continues, and the Lincoln penny remains one of the most talked about coins in the numismatic world. So next time you see a penny, do not ignore it. That little coin might be your golden ticket. Dig into your collection, check your piggy banks, go through your jars of change, because history has shown us that pennies can be priceless. This is why we at JF Coin always remind you to stay curious, stay passionate, and never underestimate the power of a coin. The Lincoln penny is not just money, it is history, art, and value all rolled into one small piece of metal. Thank you for watching JF Coin. If you enjoyed this journey through the history and value of the Lincoln penny 1 cent, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss our latest updates. Together we will keep discovering the hidden treasures of coin collecting. Who knows, your next penny could be worth more than $779,000. Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and keep believing in the magic of coins. This is JF Coin.